And we're live here on YouTube, like the welcome those listening in podcast land, and also like to welcome my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
You know what, Mike? I'm doing well. So it was a nice day. Got off work on time for once.
Oh, nice.
And or at least home at a decent time. I think I still put in an hour of work, or an hour of overtime, but it didn't feel like it. And yeah, just had a nice afternoon and evening with the missus. So we watched Friday Night Lights, played a Mario Party.
The movie or the TV show?
The movie. Okay. Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay.
As the coach. So.
Yeah, always have a hard time watching him because all I can think is, I like myself French fried potatoes.
I did not know that. I don't think I've ever seen Deliverance, but
that's not Deliverance. Nope.
No, it's not.
Sling Blade.
Sling Blade. Okay.
Sling Blade.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie, but I've seen clips of it, and I did not know that was Billy Bob Thornton.
You like them French fried taters? I like them French fried taters.
Ain't got no gas.
Ain't got no gas. Yeah, that's Billy Bob Thornton.
Ooh.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
So, Mike, yourself, how are you doing?
It's been a week, man. Confession time. This is like accountability moment time. I have been struggling this week. In fact, so I told you the story that I had a rough day yesterday at work, and I was on my nerves, and sorry, this is going to turn into confessional 101 and accountability partner, and welcome to the club, guys, but this is reality, and this is what we're going to do, and I didn't mean to do it like this, but yesterday I had a day, and I got done with work, and I came home, and it was great to be with the kids, and I thought I had let it go, and then I get to band practice where I'm playing bass for a church band. My soul was just stirred up by a bunch of stuff. I was angry still, and there were things, and I reached out to Tyler, that's our music pastor this week, and I was like, man, or yet today, and I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that to the. That was wrong on me. And he's like, I didn't notice it. And I'm like, okay, good. Hopefully nobody else did. But I could tell I was in a stinker mood, and I just tried to, once I realized that, I just kind of squatted to the side and just played. And just, yesterday was rough. But today went a lot better. I think I'm officially ready for school to start. Okay. Everything I'm supposed to do is mostly done.
That's good, since you do work at a school.
I have a few things that I got to do today that I'm going to do after the show. I'll probably put in an hour or two. And then it's a weekend, man. I'm done.
Yeah, so. I know. I'm looking forward to the weekend, too, as we got a NASCAR race to watch. You can watch some cars go around in circles on Saturday night, and
yeah.
I think we're gonna check out the mini golf course over at Iron T out at the Betplex this week, tomorrow as well. So we're gonna see what that's like, it's not a traditional mini golf, so okay. we're interested to see that. But I think Amy's more wanting to go out there because it's close to Hart's Donuts. So.
Ooh. So we got a big show this week, man. We got a lot to talk about. Like you said, we're going to talk the NASCAR corner and the big schedule drop this week. We're going to look at some highlights on it. We're not going to do super in depth, but there is some stuff to talk about. Some exciting things that are officially on there that I've been hoping for years. Vacations I might end up taking. Maybe not. It all depends. We'll talk about that. But we also have we get to talk about Cubs baseball this week, Rich. What an exciting thing to do this week, as opposed to last week. Completely different. Rich, what else we got?
Well, Mike, our last big topic on the docket is we get to go into fantasy land as many people are have already drafted fantasy teams or are going to be drafted or are trying to set up a draft. So we're going to talk fantasy football and maybe like our top players at each position, maybe some sleepers and maybe breakout sleepers, whatever you want to call them, and maybe some guys that we're fading or not looking to draft for various reasons.
Yep.
So, Mike, all that and more, but what do we got to do first?
We got to go ahead and roll that intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back. Before we do all of that, Rich, what's it time to do?
Well, Mike, we got to talk about our poll question, as this week was week number 1 of our fall activities. And while we admit that it just doesn't quite feel like fall yet,
it's going to. It will this weekend, man. I don't know about for you guys. Today our high was like 78. We don't get above 75 for like the next 3 days.
Okay.
I
guess for me, you think fall, you think the leaves are starting to change, colors on the trees are starting to change, your leaves are starting to drop, you got cooler weather. Just not there yet in August, but at the same time, school is going back, and kids going back to school does equal fall.
I mean, so up here the temperatures
we're not starting it as early as we think we are.
The temperatures are changing, and we're doing great. So our first week of poll questions for fall time activities, you had apple picking versus haunted houses. Rich, I picked apple picking.
Okay, I've never gone out to an apple orchard.
That's a lie.
Apple orchard.
That's a lie.
Done apple picking.
Okay.
I've been out to we normally like to go to Tanner's Orchard.
I love Tanner's.
We go there for the pumpkin patch, not the apple picking.
Yeah, I think
different time of year.
Yeah.
Slightly different time of year in the fall.
Yeah, I think but I just found out, and I sent my wife a message while we were doing our pre-show. There is that is going on, or our favorite apple orchard up here opens. It has opening weekend this weekend, so we might end up going this weekend.
Nice.
We might. Tomorrow's a little busy, and Sunday we have nothing, but we might end up. I don't know. We might. We'll see. Apple. So you picked.
I went with haunted houses, not because I like haunted houses, but they seem to be a bigger part of the fall Halloween season.
Okay.
So I went with haunted houses.
Well, you're the only one.
I'm sure I would be.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I'm wrong. One, why am I gonna pay somebody to scare me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that. I get that there's adrenaline. Now, I used to be a part of the Davenport JCs and did the haunted house. Now, that being in the haunted house, way more fun than being outside the haunted house. And especially when you have the lung capacity that I have and the ability to just let it out. It can be fun. But I picked apple picking. Apple picking wins 5-1.
I figured it would.
So, Rich, you're the only one that picked haunted houses. So there's your shout out for picking haunted houses. Mikey Hart, Matt Johnson, AJ Hendricks, Danielle Hart, and Gail Welchman all picked apple picking.
All right, Mike. This week, I'll probably get this up tomorrow. We're going to do yard cleaning. Nobody likes to do it, but it is a part of fall. And a corn maze.
Yeah. So the interesting stuff about the yard cleanup, and sometimes yard cleanup doesn't always look the same, if that makes sense. With that, After the show, ask me about apple picking. I think we talked about it last
well.
week, but ask me about
I
it
sure
because
will. Yep. So you can always find our poll questions on Facebook. Whether you're watching our show here on YouTube or listening to us in podcast land, you can find a link to our Facebook page. Fans of Balls and Sticks in the description, where you can get a link right to that. Whether you're on Facebook, whether you have the Facebook app or not, make sure to vote. And if you leave a comment on the poll, we'll make sure to share it during our recording next week. Once again, it'll be yard cleaning, our number 11 seed versus a corn maze, which is number 6. Mike, do you see what's coming up next?
Is it a left turn, Rich?
It is, Mike, and what's after that?
Is it another left turn?
It is, Mike, and tell them why.
Because we're heading into the NASCAR corner. Presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated.
All right, Mike, so last night we were in Richmond for the Cookout 400. Mike, your race winner was Austin Dillon. Mike, your pick of Ty Dillon came in 20th. My pick of Denny Hamlin came in 10th.
You mean I don't get credit for the brother winning?
No, you don't.
Oh. I had to try, right?
Yep, you did. So I pull ahead going into the final regular season race with a 14-13 edge. So, Mike, Austin Dillon wins the Cookout 400 for the second year in a row, but this time without any controversy. As last year he won the race, but had the points. Yeah, they allowed him to be the winner of the race, but he got the points. His automatic bid into the playoffs was taken away because he spun out 2 cars to jump from 3rd to 1st to win the race, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was. Now, here's the thing that we forget about that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, not to replay what happened last year to make the argument. He was the dominant car last year.
He was.
Like, he was the dominant car from that race last year. Like, he, by far and away. So, did it really affect that he, like, would he have probably won? Yeah. Did he have the car that deserved to win? Yeah. I didn't have a problem with it. But a year later, I don't.
Gotcha.
Hindsight's 2020. But he came back, did great at this race, deserved what he earned it, and good job.
All right, Mike. Coke 04. So from Virginia down to where it all started in the regular season for the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at the Daytona International Speedway. So, Mike, I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez. I haven't picked Suarez yet. He won Atlanta, which is a similar drifting track. And
yeah.
You know what? Being a Trackhouse fan of Ross Chastain, let's try and get all 3 Trackhouse guys into the playoffs, and his only way of getting into the playoffs is with a win. So I'm going to go with Suarez.
Okay, I don't mind that pick. I'm going to go with a guy who in the last 4 races at Daytona have been in the top 10.
Yep.
I'm going to go with a guy who, outside of the big races, these big ones, he sometimes doesn't seem to do super great. But I'm going to go with Chris Buescher.
Okay, in a high finish would do him well because I think he's above the cut line, but he's on the border of not. But somebody else could overtake him.
Yeah.
Just with points. So I like the Buescher pick. He'll be in my fantasy lineup.
Yeah, no,
I know he needs a win.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets the win and I win the season. But if I just win the week and we'll tie, which I actually like ties going into the postseason because then we've had in the past where one of us is just super dominant for the regular season, but in the postseason, in the playoffs, the other person just somehow dominates the playoffs and wins. So I'm glad that we're like, this one feels like it's anybody's game going into the playoffs.
Gotcha. All right, Mike. So the big news out of NASCAR was that they announced the 2026 schedule. Now we won't go race to race to talk about date changes, but because that's kind of part of our NASCAR preview that we do before the season starts.
Yeah.
But three key things that stood out to me, just with looking at the Cup Series, was that the All-Star race is going from North Wilkesboro to Dover, Delaware, to the Monster Mile.
Okay. Yep.
Chicagoland is officially announced as a points race, as that's going to stay on the July 4th holiday.
Great. That's awesome.
That the street course race had. There's going to be 2 bye weeks this year, 2 breaks for the NASCAR for the Cup Series. And so the normal one.
When are those? Wow, the All-Star race seems early. May seems a little early for that, but oh no, that would be that's early. That's 2 weeks early, isn't it? Because isn't it Memorial Day weekend is normally the Charlotte?
Yeah, Memorial Day.
Is the 24th Memorial Day weekend, or is it 31st? Oh no, it's the last Monday. So yeah, it's the earliest it can be.
Yeah, and finally, the points. North Wilkesboro is going to go from having the All-Star race exhibition to having a points race.
So things that stand out to me is that Iowa has sold itself as a place to go, and is still going to have their first weekend in August. I don't know if I can make that one happen, but Chicagoland, buddy, I'm hyped. We should see if we can coordinate. I might be up for a trip back to Chicagoland. So, wait, that's 4th of July.
It's 4th of July.
Never mind, I'm not going to Chicagoland. Okay, so
there's too many birthdays.
And it'll be the weekend. I mean, it's the weekend I'm in the Quad Cities, so theoretically I could make it to that race, but I don't know.
But you wouldn't be able to do a NASCAR race like you want to do a NASCAR race, which is being out there all weekend for all 3 races and being at the track.
Now, I do want to point out things that are nice. There are at least 3 road courses that have dropped off, if I'm seeing right. Mexico City, Chicago.
Well, the Chicago street race is now the
okay, so never mind.
Table-based circuit race. So you still have the same amount of road courses with Circuit of the America, Watkins Glen, the Charlotte Roval.
I think that
Naval Station.
Personally, the Charlotte Roval I think is the worst thing in the world. See, I hate it. Here's the thing, that Charlotte is the home of NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
It is the epicenter. If you want to do a NASCAR trip and do like a week long, like totally enjoy, like forget about everything, do a Charlotte race. Here's why. Okay?
Yep.
When you go to Charlotte, there are all of the, you can go to you can do 3/4 of the teams have their what's it called? Have their race shops there. You can go to all of the race shops. You also, everything is NASCAR themed. The headquarters for NASCAR are in Charlotte. You get to do so, like, it is the land of NASCAR. 95% of the guys that raced in it in the history of the now I will admit more recently we're spreading out, but the history of the land, you can go to Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s the birth, his hometown. You can go see, like, there's all sorts of things to see there.
And yet they choose to do a road course?
Yeah. NASCAR, I'm not saying, So now this is where I might get into some trouble. I'm not saying I want NASCAR to be. I want to be that guy saying, "Well, NASCAR is not NASCAR turn left. We don't do nothing but turn left in NASCAR. We don't need no." I don't mind road courses. I do like seeing a more oval centric season, but I don't mind some road courses. But there are some places that don't need a road course.
And Charlotte is one of them.
And I think Charlotte's one of them.
Gotcha. All right.
Actually, I think the Daytona road course was better because the Daytona road course is known as an international road course. The Charlotte Roval is them squeezing a road course into Charlotte.
Yeah, but with Daytona known in the NASCAR world for being a key crown jewel event, would you want to have?
But
you give Daytona a third Cup Series race to be on their road course, or do you? Because I don't.
you'd be serving.
I don't.
You'd be serving Florida again.
Yeah, I don't think that they would take away. They wouldn't. Yeah, obviously, they wouldn't turn the Daytona 500 into the road course layout. And I don't know if they, because the last race of the year tends to be so hyped up as the last chance to make the playoffs, and anything can happen on a super speedway. I don't think that they would turn that into a road course race.
Yeah, they can't. You're right. They can't change the 500. I think you could move Daytona out of the last spot of the year. I don't know.
Then you got the NASCAR purists again saying, "Why are you moving NASCAR off the last day of the year?" But those are probably the same people saying,
Whoa.
You should probably be at Daytona on July 4th weekend.
I would agree. If July 4th is normally Daytona, so for me that's weird. But two, those guys are the guys that are going to say most of those guys are guys that are going to say why do we have playoffs? The playoffs are stupid. So
Probably.
I don't know. I'm okay with it. I like the schedule. I like seeing some of the stuff. I don't think I'm gonna make. So my wife and I had already started setting aside money because I was gonna try to go to the Vegas race.
Yeah.
I don't
Now
know.
you got some money. Now you don't know where you're going to allocate those funds.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go to that. So Kansas in April.
That's too close to a big date in our lives. So
Oh.
I don't think we'd be able to make that.
Okay. Oh yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Anything else in the NASCAR world? There's been no talk of.
Yeah, the lawsuit seems to be stayed quiet this week, which is nice.
Okay. Oh, I actually got one, Mike.
Yeah.
What was your opinion on Connor Zilich's accident
I haven't seen it.
in Watkins Glen?
Oh, in Watkins Glen.
Yeah. He wins the Watkins Glen road course race, does what a lot of NASCAR drivers do of trying to get up on the hood of his car.
Oh yeah, that. Okay, I thought Connor Zilich.
And he got his foot tangled in the netting and took a bad fall that resulted in him breaking his collarbone in victory lane.
Oh man, that was rough. That was scary too. Like if you watched that, was scary. Watching the replay of because the images that you got you thought he smacked his head, and with the quickness that they got in there and they got away from it and they did all the things, like you didn't know if he had been seriously hurt. Nobody knew. It was scary. You felt bad because then they had to pull the car out for Red Bull the next day, because he was supposed to race in the big cars, and ended up not being able to. I'm glad that he's doing well. I'm glad that he's back. He should be racing today. I'm gonna pull up now that.
Yeah, he did say I did see a story that he is going to be back for the Xfinity Series race at Daytona this weekend.
Well, it's going on right now.
Oh, okay.
That's going on right now. So let me bring it up real quick. Not that I can. I mean. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, they just finished. So I'm gonna go way to the bottom first.
It shows me that he won.
Did he? Connor Zillage won. That man just won with a broken collarbone.
Yeah.
He
it
just
shows
won
that-
too. It just no. He's the current leader. They're in caution. They're in overtime.
Okay. Okay. So he's leading in overtime at the Daytona race. And so that's crazy to think that he took a week off, or unless the Xfinity Series was not in action.
No, they were in
all
action
the-
last week.
So he only had to take 1 week off, and he's back in the car after recovering from a broken collarbone.
And had to have surgery on it. Like they required surgery on it. So
That is crazy. And I guess the final bit of news, I just keep on pulling. I've never pulled this many NASCAR topics out of my
yeah, no, normally that's a me
off my
thing.
head. I know.
Oh.
Did you see that the Xfinity Series will have a different title sponsor?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
It'll now be the O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. So Connor Zillage is not in the lead. I literally just pulled up the race. I'm watching it. Sorry. So in the lead is Hill, Kligerman, Honeyman, Allgaier, Smith. Yeah. So I don't know why. I'm so confused here.
Oh well. But it's great to see that he's doing well and he's back. He's back in the race though.
Yeah. It's weird that the live leaderboard and
the live stream are two different things.
To try to get beside the 88.
yeah. Oh, okay. It just moved on mine. No, it did move. What? I don't know what's going on here.
All right. Anywho, Mike.
Okay.
Anything else on the NASCAR side?
I think we're good. I'm gonna try not to just watch this race now.
All right, Mike. So that was the NASCAR Corner presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. You can find them in Moline, Illinois, down on 5th Avenue and on eBay. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Mike, we go from making left turns on the concrete over to the baseball diamond. This week, Mike, the Cubs had 2 with the Pirates, 5 with the Brewers, which included a doubleheader, and they are currently playing the LA Angels out in Anaheim. So we will be subtracting that game from our win totals. So, Mike, they went 5-2 this week, taking both the Saturday-Sunday games with the Buccos, and surprisingly winning 3 of the 5 games against the Brewers. So with that 5-2 week, they are 73-55, 7 games back in the Central, but with the best record of the non-division winners, they are in the wild card 1 position.
Nice. I'm glad that they are. Man, this week was a get right week for them, and they did. Would we have liked to have seen at least one more win from against the Brewers? Of course. Anytime you can win against the Brewers is good. But beyond that, just the fact that it was what the fact that they were able to do as good as they did, I'm happy with it. Winning 3 in a row. That's the other thing. Winning 3 in a row, any other time would be a sweep of a team. Any other time would have been a sweep. But because we played 5 games. By the way, 5 scheduled games. Can you imagine? When was the last time you saw a 5-game series, and including a doubleheader on the schedule?
Well, no, it wasn't a scheduled doubleheader. It was a makeup game.
Oh, okay.
It got scheduled.
But
It was
still.
not a schedule. But, yeah, you had 5 in a sense because Game 1, Game 2 of the nightcap on Monday was rained out. Tuesday turned into a doubleheader.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just nuts. So,
And you know what? They had a chance, I think, on the Thursday getaway day game with the Brewers to get that win. They just couldn't come up with that clutch hit to get it.
Yeah. The fact that that stuff started working well and they started doing what they need. This looks like the team we saw this week looked more like the team that we were used to the rest of the year.
Yeah, I can give you that. So I mean, and even in the whole like these previous 2 weeks, where it's like I don't know if I really want to talk to the Cubs, but we're going to. They're still in a position to make the playoffs, and not just barely hanging on. They might make the playoffs. No, they're in a position where they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were just going through a really bad, rough patch, and it didn't help that the Brewers just went on
a tear. Now, hopefully, by the way, and I would argue the Bears or the Cubs did things in a way that allowed, like, the Cubs were playing bad, but they weren't playing terribly. It's like you said, the Brewers were just on a tear. So I'm good with it. I'm happy with where we're at. Hopefully, we keep doing well.
I agree. So, Mike, this week they'll have 2 more games out in Orange County with the LA Angels. They go down the coast, up the coast to San Francisco for 3 games with the Giants. And then they're going to go to the Mountain Time Zone to visit the Colorado Rockies. On the road, Mike, 6 games. How many wins are you going to give them?
I am going to be optimistic.
Okay.
They've gotten right. They're going to play well. I'm going 4.
Okay. I'm going to go 4 as well. I mean, the Angels aren't playing as well as you think with a team that has Mike Trout on it. But I guess when you just have Mike Trout and a bunch of meddling guys, not great, but not very good players around him, you have that. San Francisco's fighting for a playoff spot, but they're on the wrong end of the fight. And you know what? The Rockies have one of the worst records in baseball. So
Yep.
that better be a win when we get to Denver. So I think we can get 4 out of that.
So I have an update for the NASCAR. Back to the NASCAR corner real quick.
Sure.
It looks like Parker Kligerman raced today and won. And Connor Zilic was on the box. I don't know if he was up there the whole time, if he started the race and then came out. I don't know. But he did not run the race today. It was Parker Kligerman running. And then Parker Kligerman won. And I actually love what he did for his victory lane celebration. He planted the flag on the infield.
Cool.
Okay. So, yeah, like you said, the Angels are not the team that they thought they were. San Francisco's struggling a bit, and the Rockies suck. If we don't beat the Rockies, I'll be a little upset. So, I'm sitting 4. I think we win the week. And
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they get 5. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going to go 4 though.
I genuinely, again, I don't know what they're doing right now. If they lose tonight, I could see them actually doing all 6. I don't think it'd be hard to sweep San Francisco, but
currently in the bottom of the 6, it is 2-1 Chicago.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe not. A 4-game series, sweeping a 4-game series is extremely hard. So
no, it's just 2 games. They're 2-3-1.
We have
tonight's game is not factored into our window.
Oh wait. Never mind. It's a 3-game series. Never mind.
3-game series down in San Francisco. Up.
No. But the LA game is a 3-game series, not a 4-game series.
Yes,
You're right. I thought they played a game there yesterday. They didn't. Never mind. Okay.
Nope.
We are going to look at standings next. Is that next weekend?
It is Labor Day weekend. Always sneaks up on you, especially when you're busy. When you're busy at work, putting in close to 50, 60 hours. So.
Yeah, I put in 60 hours, 65 hours. My boss put in at least that much, and then is going to work tomorrow. I covet my weekends. I'm very protective, but yeah. So I'm not. But man, that's crazy. So we'll do that next week. But let's stop making left turns. Let's punch each other in the gut. Get down and dirty with the big men. Let's talk football.
Yeah, we're going to talk fantasy football. I don't know if we'll get. We normally do maybe like a top 5 or a top 6, as well as maybe our buyer bewares or sleepers or breakout guys. But due to busy weeks, I don't know if we'll be strictly following that format excessively, Mike. But what position, Mike, would you like to start at?
I mean, how about the most important position when it comes to sports, to fantasy of them all?
In your opinion, that is the tight end, Mike?
Nope.
No. Okay.
We're going to talk quarterbacks.
That was your opinion for many, many years. I got a tight end, because what after you get past the top tight end, everybody else is you're going to be struggling for stats, and it's going to be a revolving door for you.
I don't think it's a revolving door. I think that I do think you are struggling for stats, but I think you are struggling for stats in a way that that you don't need to. Yeah, I don't see that it's a big thing. But what I would argue is the quarterback is the most important. I think the tight end is the most underrated, is how I actually would say it. And I think the tight end deserves to be drafted significantly higher, in my opinion.
Gotcha. So with quarterbacks, Mike, yeah, you're right. With a quarterback, a quarterback can make or break your league, can make or break you. And the thing with quarterbacks that you got to think about when you are drafting them is that the best quarterback in the league, football-wise, isn't always the best quarterback fantasy-wise.
Right.
Because if they're not scoring touchdowns, the yardage could be there, but if they take a couple of sacks, throw an interception, and they don't have the touchdowns to offset those negative stats, you're going to be disappointed by the outcome when you're seeing a single digits instead of double digits.
Yeah. When you have the other side is that teams that are great don't like teams that I avoid quarterbacks on tend to be like the Tennessee Titans. And I know things change, but in the past, the Tennessee Titans have been a run-heavy offense. Any run-heavy offense, you don't want their quarterback. They don't get a lot of... If I will regularly attempt to keep my quarterback and my running backs on separate teams.
Okay, so you're not rooting against the other guy to not.
Well,
so you're not rooting against your quarterback, your running back poaching potential touchdowns that could have been throwing touchdowns.
Yep, stuff like that.
That's fair.
So, Rich, your number one quarterback you're gonna pick. You're number one to pick a quarterback. I'm not saying you're number one on the board. You're number one.
My number one on the quarterback board is Josh Allen. He's a dual threat quarterback.
Yep.
He's a dual threat quarterback. And when a rushing touchdown is worth more than the passing touchdown, I tend to value. If the board falls right, if the board doesn't fall my way and quarterback makes the most sense, Josh Allen would be that guy.
So I'm going to ask for what round do you target your quarterback? I guess that would have been my first question. Should have been my first question.
Man,
And I'm not asking you to give up Secret. I don't.
I know. No, honestly, Mike, I think I'm looking maybe the fourth or fifth round. But I know that I like to build up a very good stable of running backs, because that's how I build out my team, is with a dominant run game and getting the top rushers, and I can let other people take those top quarterbacks. I'll let other people take those top quarterbacks.
So I'm not that far off of you. I say 3 is the optimum place for a quarterback. 3,
But
round
it all
3.
depends. If a run starts happening on quarterbacks, you can either go along with the run and take it, or you fade it and you scoop up the running backs and the wide receivers that aren't going, because everybody's in a 2-quarterback league that we play in.
Yeah.
If people are taking both their quarterbacks in rounds 1, 2, and 3, that leaves more people. That leaves good running backs and receivers that are still on the board that might not be there.
Yep.
In a more traditional league.
So
other than,
I will say you did take my number 1 overall for quarterbacks. You took that, but my second choice, my close second, Jaden Daniels.
okay.
He is a younger, and I think better Lamar Jackson.
Okay. I have Lamar Jackson at number 2. I guess I can see. I have Jaden Daniels in my top 5. Where I'm kind of struggling with him in is, now that there's tape on him, can he avoid that second-year slump now that more teams have tape on him and they see how Washington is deploying him in that offense?
Yep, that is a concern, but here's the thing, and again, you could make that same argument, because if you look, Lamar Jackson actually has had some rough times with it throughout the years, but Lamar has figured it out. I like him a lot. I personally have Lamar in my top 5 as well, but he's number 4, as I have Jalen Hurts ahead of him.
Yeah, I have Hurts in my number 4.
Okay.
In my number 4 spot. My number 3 is Joe Burrow.
Okay, it's Smoking Joe.
There's no rushing upside there. He's not going to be rushing for. He's not going to get you the rushing yards as a dedicated rusher like Allen and Jackson and Daniels would. But the Bengals just don't play defense. So they get themselves into a lot of shootouts, which means a lot of yards and a lot of passing touchdowns.
Right, which is great, but I don't know. I think Joe is my top 5. Are we in 5? So you did Hurts is 5?
Yeah, I have Allen, Jackson, Burrow at number 4, and then I'll go Hurts at 4, and then Daniels.
Okay, so I have Allen, Daniels, Hurts, Jackson, and my number 5 is Patrick Mahomes. I actually still the GOAT. Still right, not the GOAT. Sorry, I will refrain from calling him that, but he's making an argument.
Okay.
But still one of the still a top elite quarterback. Getting older. Don't get me wrong, he's starting to have some age on him, but yeah, he's doing great. Now,
so my thing with Mahomes is that Mahomes was that guy that I was referring to, in somebody that he's the top quarterback in the league. Why wouldn't you have him be the first quarterback off the board?
Yep. No, I agree.
How many times did you look at either your opponent that had Patrick Mahomes and you saw a single digit on there?
Yep.
Because he threw an interception and there was just no touchdown.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a passing touchdown.
I can get you on that. I'm not upset about that. I think that's an accurate thing. Let's now go to our players to avoid.
Yeah.
In quarterback.
So
the biggest one by far. If you draft this guy, I'm sorry, hopefully you got him in a late round and you got him as a maybe contingent and not your number one. And that's got to be Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. I think I would not plan a.
You can't plan a full season around the guy.
You can't. It is hard to. If you get Tua, if you draft Tua, you'd almost have to ride out the top and then maybe see and then try peddling him around the league to cash in on his early success before it starts getting cold or he gets hurt. So
Yeah.
I agree with that. The one guy for me, if I can just picking like one guy that I'm probably avoiding out of all this is I'm going to go Jordan Love.
Okay, I can get down on that.
There's no rushing. There's no rushing upside. The Packers like to run the ball.
Yep.
And so I don't know if you're going to have consistent week-to-week performance.
Yeah.
Week-to-week numbers that you can bank on.
My next non-draft guy is actually a guy in my top 5.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson.
Well, why is that?
He puts himself out there and takes hits way too much. He is. Yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah, he seems to be the guy that, because he was the first giant, like the first guy that big playing that position. Been eclipsed by others now, but he takes too many hits, and he honestly. He does get injured semi-regularly.
I think he's gotten better health-wise.
He's gotten better
The last couple of years.
which is like I still think if you get him, like he's my guy that if somebody below him in my rankings is available, I will likely take him. I will likely not take him. Not. I still think he is one of the top 5 quarterbacks for fantasy in the league, or 4, no 5, top 5. But for the same reason, I will never draft Tua Tagovailoa. I won't even put him on my fantasy team. Lamar Jackson this year, again. I wouldn't go out of my top 8, maybe not even out of my top 7. If it's Lamar Jackson versus like Joe Burrow, I'm picking Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson versus Baker, Lamar Jackson versus. So I guess it'd just be my 6.
Okay.
It's just my 6. I'd take Joe Burrow over him, but I don't. I think Lamar has a better upside. And that's why I put him higher. So,
all right. I think my other guy that I'm probably fading and not looking to draft, unless that gets the slim pickings, is I'm going to go Kyler Murray. Early on in his career, he was a lot like Lamar Jackson and
Yep.
Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, where he was running a lot, he was running just as much as he was passing. He was getting those rushing touchdowns. Now he doesn't run anymore, and a crazy thing happens every early December because his stats go down. His numbers go down once Call of Duty comes out.
right. I mean, you got to play Call of Duty, man, bro. Video
All right,
games
Mike,
are life.
before we move on to the next position, maybe what's one underrated, maybe one under the radar quarterback that you maybe take a flyer on, or if you're going to deliberately go 0 quarterback and maybe play the matchups, who's a quarterback that you do maybe for that super flex or a backup that could transition into a starting?
So the sleeper.
Yeah, a sleeper, basically, a sleeper.
I'm gonna say, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say Justin Fields.
Okay.
I think I have said for years, and I said it last year too, when they did it before the season, like a year ago at this time. I think the Bears letting Justin Fields go was the biggest mistake of Ryan Poles' career. I think Justin Fields is a great quarterback. He's been on terrible teams. The Jets are looking to get right again. I think Justin Fields is your sleeper pick. People have a bad taste in their mouth about Justin Fields. People that know football probably not going to pick him because what he's done the last few years has not been great. But look for him to come back and prove the Bears wrong, prove the haters wrong, and do great things. I'm on board with Justin Fields.
All right. I'm going to go with J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connell will create a good offense around it, and he's got a good supporting cast. No rookie quarterback normally has the type of supporting cast that he has with Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Jones, and Jordan Mason, and a good offensive line. So I will go J.J. McCarthy.
We've talked. I'm gonna just because you've talked about, and so I'll pose the question to you. You've talked about the two of the four in the North. First, I'll ask: are you drafting Jared Goff at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would draft Jared Goff.
Now, are you using him?
I just don't think of him as a sleeper, but he's not in my top tier of quarterbacks either.
Right. So he'll never be your number one quarterback. He might be your bench guy.
I think he would be my guy that I would look at as a number 2 guy.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my number 2.
And then finally, I would. By the way, I would agree with that. I think he would be a great bench guy. Bring him in for a week or two here and there. Maybe does some
Play
things.
the matchup when
Yep.
he's in a dome and when he's in warm weather.
Yep, 100%. Now I'm going to ask Caleb Williams. Where are you going to draft him?
I would strongly think about drafting him.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd want him as my QB1, but
Let's say you're an 11-man. You're an 11-man.
11-man league, 1 QB
Yep.
starting spot.
Yep.
I think I would build I'd be comfortable with him as my quarterback.
Okay. Will he make your top 11?
No, I don't think so.
But we all know there's going to be that guy. So don't be that guy. Look at me. Don't be that guy that drafts 3 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds. Instead, draft tight ends. That was a joke, by the way. That was a
All
joke.
right, you brought up tight end, Mike.
Let's do it.
Who is your top tight end, Mike?
I'm going to go with Trey McBride.
Okay. All right.
Kelsey's too distracted with his girlfriend who might become a fiance here soon. I don't know. I mean, like, genuinely, I hope for them that things work. I don't care. Why do I care? But Travis is not the number 1 anymore. He's just not.
Yeah, I agree. I still have him in my. He's number 6 on the list. He still made my 6-pack. But my comment that I came up with for him is I was expecting you to say, well, Travis Kelce.
Yep. No.
Why else would you? Who else would you draft? But my thing was that Kansas City is spreading the ball out more, and his week-to-week production is going down. As I think they want him to be fresh and ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Mike, how you've drafted him within the first or second round for the past 4 years. This year, Mike, how many weeks were you disappointed to open up the app and see a single digits on the board for your first round pick?
I don't think he ever had single digits.
Yeah, he did. He had single digit scoring day. He had single digit scoring.
I don't remember him having single digits. I remember him having a 10, which is close. But either way, I was disappointed a few times last year.
So my top tight end was Brock Bowers.
So my problem is I'm having trouble putting anybody from Las Vegas as my number 1. I don't know that team's ready to go yet. Next year it might move up, but and again I'll share my theory on it. My theory is that your number one and number 2 tight ends, if they are good, the best ones will produce like a wide receiver. if you have a team that uses it like a wide receiver, and they're good enough to play as a wide receiver, essentially, your top tight ends will produce like that. What that means is that when you're playing guys that are producing like quote unquote traditional tight ends and are not getting 25, 30 points, you instantly boost yourself above others. It is a spot that you can dominate, and you can still get 15 to 25 point guys out of mid-level wide receivers and mid-level running backs. But those top tight ends are worth their weight in gold. I still stand by that, Rich. You just have to pick the guy that is that year's number one and or number two. Normally there's not more than two.
Yep. But for me, playing in a league with you, who will draft that guy in the third, in the second, in the first, second, within the first 3 rounds.
Unapologetically.
I know.
Unapologetically.
I don't want to invest the draft capital that it's going to take to poach that guy or guys from you, because there's years where you've taken a tight end in the second and the third round.
Yep. And I do really well those seasons, if those guys are the guys. Last year hurt me. I 100% admit that bit me in the butt. Why? Because it took Travis Kelce as number one. As my I think he might have been my number one pick. He might have been my number two, but either way, Travis Kelce I picked him way too high. Why? Because Travis Kelce didn't get the production that he normally does last year.
Yeah. So going along with your theory with that tight end, that's the it guy this year that can produce like a wide receiver. In my opinion, Bowers and McBride are those guys.
They really are.
Because they are the top receiving options on their team.
Yep. And by the way, I have Bowers too.
Yeah.
I still think he is the top guy there. I just struggle to know what Vegas is going to look like this year.
Okay. So to round out my top 5, I'm sure these same players are there. They might be in a different order. I went with Laporta at 3, Kittle at 4, and T.J. Hawkinson at 5.
I actually have Mark Andrews as number 5. But other than that, yeah, exactly the same order even. Okay.
You know, I'm glad you brought up Mark Andrews, because he's my buyer beware.
Is he? Okay. I can understand that.
With my opinion he was too inconsistent. So I would rather let somebody else have that headache.
He's not one of, I will say he's not one of my guys that I'm going to have drafted in the first 3 rounds or 4 rounds. But he is a guy that, if he's available late round, I'll pick him up, which he won't be. My buyer beware is actually Evan Ingram.
Ooh.
I
got a different opinion on him, Mr. Ingram.
You have him decent, okay? And I don't
I think I have him a little bit as a don't forget about this guy.
Okay.
Sean Payton likes to feature his tight ends, and there really aren't that many good receiving options in Denver, or at least they're all really young. So I think.
Now I said buyer beware. I didn't say do not draft.
Yeah.
I said buyer beware. My do not draft used to be a draft this guy. He used to be a top 5. Do you have a guess?
I do not. Who is it?
Zach Ertz.
Yeah. With his age, he is
with his age, he has deteriorated very quickly. Yes, I think his quarterback is a guy you should draft, and I actually like. So this is one of those places where I like to try to draft a quarterback and tight end together. And here's the reason. In the red zone, the guy that gets the ball most of the time on passing plays are the guys that are short route guys. Tight ends. Tight ends tend to be your red zone guys, which is why, especially your big ones, which is why it counts as double every time you get it. By the way, and that brings me to, do you have any? You did your sleeper, which was Evan Ingram. I don't have a sleeper. Sorry, I didn't this week.
No, that's fine. I think.
But with that, and this is what I was.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
A buyer beware that I'm not touching. Is Kyle Pitts. How many years have it been like? Oh, he's got the potential.
Yeah.
He's got the body. He's got the potential, but there's been too many times where I'm tired of waiting for the breakout season.
Yeah.
So I'm not sold on the guy anymore.
Yeah.
But I gotta say that the yardages might be there, but I'm not sure the touchdowns will be. But Tyler Warren down in Indy.
Okay. That's
With an inexperienced quarterback like Daniel Jones, he could be a good safety valve type of target. And I think Colson Loveland could be a good guy to keep an eye on too in your draft boards. As I think Ben Johnson will find ways to get this kid the ball.
Yep, I'm totally on board with that. With that, I will say the other option, if you're not going to get your tight end, you're not going to get your tight end and quarterback together, go with a wide receiver. Get a wide receiver to go with a good, a heavy pass quarterback. And with that, I'm actually going to say, if you're going to pick up Joe Burrow, you have to pick up Jamar Chase.
Or if you don't do a stack, Jamar Chase is going to get his yardage and touchdowns on a week-to-week basis.
Get Jamar Chase, number one wide receiver, period. I think personally, number one player, but number one receiver easily, if not the number one player you should draft this year, period.
Yeah, very few teams are able to shut him down, so you're not going to be, even if you took him as your first round pick, you're not. I think you're not going to have those weeks where you're scratching your head or you're frustrated because the guy put up a single digit day. So
Rich, I'm going to give you a quick note. We are at 1 hour and 2 minutes. Do you want to keep going on doing some of this, or do you want to do quick? We'll do quick hits. We'll do our number one, and then our don't pick, and then we'll do that for the last couple of positions. Or do you want to just I'm enjoying this. I could keep going.
Let's keep going. It isn't like anybody watches. Our viewership is very low. So
I get it, but I also know that your sleep schedule has not been that of sleeping in on Saturdays all the time. But let's keep going. Okay.
Fine, let's keep going.
So
my number 2 is Justin Jefferson. The volume is there. I think he has volume days, but he does have days where the double coverage and defensive schemes get him in, and he doesn't get that touchdown.
That's why I put CeeDee Lamb as. I put Nico Collins as my number 2, not Nico Collins.
I have Nico Collins. He's at 4 for me. I have injury concerns with him. So that's
and I was going to say the same thing. Like Justin Jefferson, I'm not sure on right now. But even beyond that, Justin Jefferson, I think there's huge upside because, again, J.J. McCarthy, nobody has film on him. They have a week? They have a week worth of, or they have an off season worth of film on him in the NFL. Preseason game, I think, 1, right? But then on top of it, you're playing with who I think is truly, if you disagree, I'm sorry, you're wrong, the current quarterback whisperer. If you want any more proof, look at what happened last year with a washed-up Sam Darnold. And if you got a great quarterback and a great team behind you, you're right. Justin Jefferson would be a great number 2, but I'm going to pick Nico Collins. Justin Jefferson's number 3. My number 4, Amon St. Brown.
Yeah, I got Amon-Ra at number 4, at my number 3 slot.
Okay.
So I like him. So
both at
to round out my top 6, I went with CeeDee Lamb, and I was struggling to get a 6th guy, but I put Puka Nacua here.
How do you not see Puka's my 5? Puka is my 5. I actually don't go with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is actually in my 6th spot. Mostly with I'm sorry. Dallas, get your house in order. Dallas has got to get their house in order. I'm going to say I actually would go Puka Nacua and then Drake Landon in Atlanta.
Okay. All right, Mike. So we'll just go with one guy. We'll go with one guy on the maybe a buyer beware, a fade, and maybe a sleeper guy to keep in mind. Keep in your back pocket. Go ahead.
My buyer beware is Tyreek Hill.
Okay. Yep.
And the reason is that if you're gonna pick him up, you have to have Tua healthy, which they've proven time again they can't do that. And 2, as soon as Tua's gone, they haven't proven that they have anybody to throw. And there's some questions on injury issues right now.
Okay. Yep. I had Tyreek Hill here too. For me, it's A.J. Brown in Philly.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, he's the number 1 wide receiver there, but with most drafts, you're going to have to invest at least a third round pick to get him, and he's just too inconsistent from week to week. As he can get with a crowded offense that likes to spread the ball around and run the ball, there could be weeks where he has less than 60 yards and no touchdown, and then that equals a single-digit day. So I don't really want the week-to-week inconsistencies.
Yep.
But by all means, he's the number 1 wide receiver.
Oh, he is, but that's
He just plays on a stacked team.
Yep. Okay. Sleeper pick. Smith and Jimbe.
One more time.
Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith Njigba.
Njigba.
Yeah, I like that pick in Seattle. He finally gets to be the number 1 wide receiver with DK Metcalf now in Pittsburgh. So I like that.
So
for me, I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton out in Denver. So he's the only good, tall, jump ball type receiver in Denver, so that could be a lot of touchdowns.
Okay, let's move to your second most important position in fantasy football. Your running back.
I agree, Mike. And this is the position I always target in those first 3 rounds to get a stacked running back room.
So
and for me, that number 1 guy is B. John Robinson down in Atlanta.
Okay. I would agree. I actually agree with that one. That's the first one that I think your first number 1 that I agree with. My number 2 is as much as people don't, I put him as Derrick Henry. I still think he has the power. He showed last year that he still has enough to get you there. Also, he's going to be a goal line guy. He deserves to be a goal line guy, and will probably get a lot of that.
Yeah, I have 2 other guys ahead of Derrick Henry myself, and it's because they, like B. John Robinson, are involved in the passing game where Derrick Henry isn't.
Yep.
And it's Jahmyr Gibbs and Saquon Barkley.
Okay, so I have Jahmyr at 3, and I have Gibbs at 4, or Barkley at 4.
Yeah.
I actually then put Josh Jacobs at number 5.
Okay.
And that's
out there to
well, but as you spoke of, the frozen tundra. You can't throwing the ball at the frozen tundra is hard. You generally end up running it. Half of his games are where?
in Green Bay.
Okay. Number 2, Green Bay just loves to run in general. I'm sorry. Jordan Love, like you said, avoid Jordan Love because Green Bay loves to run. Why not go with Josh Jacobs as your running back?
Okay. And who rounds out your? We'll just do 5. So my number 5 is Jonathan Taylor.
And
I think
he actually rounds out my top 6.
Yeah, Indy runs the ball especially when you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback. You're going to run the ball a lot. He's involved in the passing game. And the rounding out my top 6 is Christian McCaffrey. There's a huge injury risk, but when the dude is healthy, he racks up the points.
You just mentioned why he's on my avoid list. Now, not avoid, buyer beware list. I'm not going to say I won't draft him. I will draft anybody that's playing in the top 100 at the top 25 in their positions. But Christian McCaffrey is one of those guys. I think pick him up late if he's available. If he can drop, probably won't. But I am not going to waste draft capital above 5th or 6th round on him at best.
Okay, especially in an 8. I could see him going that low in an 8-man league that like we plan. So yeah, that's my top 6. A guy that I'm not touching. I think I'm going to avoid the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going to go with Breece Hall.
Okay.
Out in New York. So there's a lot of. He's a good running back. He really is. But Aaron Glenn, the new regime down in Jersey, has already said that we're going to have a rotating backfield.
Yep.
We're going like they had in Detroit, which makes sense. So, and Justin Fields is the quarterback. So some of those rushing attempts and rushing touchdowns could go to Fields instead of it being handed off for Breece Hall to punch in, or maybe one of the other running backs that's going to be rotating in and out of the field to keep everybody fresh is going to get some of those carries.
I'm going to say my avoid is Tony Pollard.
Okay.
I just don't like him as I just it's something. I don't actually have a great reason, genuinely.
Okay.
I mentioned pick somebody up from Tennessee because they like to run, and they do, but something about Tony Pollard I can't get behind. Sleeper pick, Rich.
You know what? Don't forget about this guy. I'm gonna have to go with Chuba Hubbard.
Ooh, I like
Carolina
that.
just seems to like to. You still got Bryce Young as a young quarterback, so Chuba always gets you the points. I don't know how he does it, but he just does.
I'm gonna go actually a little deeper.
Okay.
Up in Detroit, baby. David Montgomery.
Okay.
I'm saying sleeper. That's a deep cut. Yes, Jamar Gibbs is good. If you have Jamar Gibbs, don't pick up Montgomery. But don't be surprised if Montgomery gets some of those short runs and power runs. That's where he shines, and that's why he's one of those guys that if he's available in the late rounds, snatch him up, because he gets sneaky points. He doesn't get you huge yardage, but he gets you sneaky points.
All right, I'll give you that on Montgomery, but he's you'd have to say you are very touchdown dependent on him. So you better help if you have to start him because you got somebody on a bye week.
Yep.
You better hope he gets that touchdown to get you in the double digits at least.
So the good news is
yardage and a touchdown.
The good news is,
but he does normally get those.
One quarterback. Who are you picking? Or one kicker. Sorry, kicker.
Kicker.
We're just talking one.
The kicker I'm targeting is Brandon Aubrey down in Dallas. Dallas is gonna be. I think Dallas is one team that tends to settle for is okay kicking the field goals, and that kid's got a leg on him.
Yep, I was gonna say the same thing.
But I'll give you another name, Mike, since I took yours, and
I actually had a different one now, so that's not who I was gonna. I like that. That was not mine.
Okay.
Again, maybe it's hype. Maybe it's just hype.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Little.
Yeah.
Kicked a 70-yard field goal.
70-yarder.
And did it and had yards to spare. He had 5 to 10 yards left in that kick. and he's in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville could have an offense that just stalls and then kicks the field goal.
And by the way,
better
that
than nothing.
at 70 yards, if you're kicking that at 70 yards, you only got to get to the 40.
All right, Mike, and the round out, and I agree. I mean, the other kickers I got, Jake Bates up in Detroit.
I'm just giving you the one.
Kai Fyburn always puts up points down in Houston, but the thing with a kicker being, unless you're drafting a guy like Aubrey, drafted a guy so the roster slot is full, see what he does, and if you're noticing there's guys on the waiver wire on your free agency pool that are putting up better points, go grab that guy for a couple of weeks.
Kickers is this position that if I get one guy that I'm a huge fan of Young Ho Koo. I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not he's not my target guy this year, but if you have a target guy, get your target guy. If you don't get him, it's a committee position. That is the ultimate of committee position. I love it. You can get if you get a guy like Cam Little who gets it that kicks 70, they end up letting him kick 70-yarders in domes all the time, sure, you're going to get points. But, man, there's tons of other people out there. So,
I agree. Mike, we'll round out our discussion. One defense that you're targeting. You're the first person. We normally in our rounds, I don't think a defense goes unless the computer is auto drafting for somebody. Normally, a defense doesn't go until the second. It's either your last pick or your second to last pick to round out your roster. You're the first guy. You're up. Nobody's picked a defense. Who's that team you're picking?
I got to pick Philly on that one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they are the team to beat. They're the defense. Their defense showed you how good they are last year at the Super Bowl. They are a dominating type defense. I want to go a part of me wants to pick somebody deeper in the field, but man, it's hard to argue against how good they were last year, and I don't know that they're going to have the hangover.
Okay, I'm going to go with Denver. They got a Week 12 bye, so if you pick Denver, you don't have to necessarily worry about finding a backup having to make a roster decision to pick up somebody for a 1 week sub in when they go on bye. So you got 12 weeks to figure out who that backup defense is going to be.
Or by week 12, you're out of it so bad you just don't care anymore.
And you play one man down.
Yeah.
Or you're so far ahead you don't want to make a roster or you don't want to drop a player to get a backup.
And you can take a loss.
Defense. And you either take a loss or you hope that the points on the defense go back. But much like a kicker, a defense can be a rotating position as you play a hot hand or you play the matchups. You just look at.
I actually argue that
who's a defense playing? Who's a defense playing? And you pick up a defense almost on a weekly basis.
That is the defense for me is actually the biggest rotation. If you look at my moves, the defense, and I generally find if two is broken again, like he always ends up being, if two is broken, whoever's playing Tua that week, or whoever's playing Miami that week, or if Jacksonville is as bad as people think they're going to be, who's playing Jacksonville? You just pick the teams that you find your worst team, and that's who you go against most weeks, and then when they're on bye, whatever. But
we'll get somebody else, or maybe you capitalize on somebody dropping a top defense.
Yeah.
Because they chose to drop the defense and pick up another defense, so you take advantage of somebody dropping a good defense that's on bye week, and you pick them up, and hey, you got a good defense that's had their bye and is on up and is going to get good enough points.
So, with that, Rich, fantasy. If you watch this and you got to the end, hit that like, hit that subscribe, do all those things. We appreciate you. Hopefully, things are going to calm down. I am going to work on, probably after I do my work, I'm going to do my other work, which is I'm going to work on my preseason power rankings. I'm gonna
Gotcha.
hopefully do that this week.
Yeah. So, because that'll be a discussion. I think we've got that on the schedule. I think for maybe the 5th, 6th, when we're giving our before the season, or at least when we're only 2 games into the season.
Right.
So.
So with that, Rich,
Yeah.
any shout-outs that you got this week?
I do not have any shout-outs.
Okay. Anything else?
I do not. So, Mike, if they've made it this far in the video, if you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're out in podcast land, thanks for making it to the end of this recording. And you can find us anywhere. If you're not sure where to find us, just search Balls and Sticks, the podcast, wherever you search your other podcasts, if you'd like to just listen to the audio version of the show and take it with you wherever you go. All right, Mike, with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll that outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.